MOJO. Excited, high five. Let's do it.
So just so when you're talking, if you look towards me and not towards the camera, that's
Got it.
It's more like an interview type thing. Is that okay? Can I start? Yeah, go first.
Where did you guys meet?
First question. No, so what are both of your individual roles, and what does Snapchat bring to those roles when you're working?
Okay, so I own a company called #OurStories. You can find it on www.ourstories.com. And we outsource post-production of videos to emerging markets like India and South Africa. And I started using Snapchat like for my personal use, but then I started getting interested in how to use Snapchat for news and for more serious issues, and how to really tell a great story on Snapchat. So that's where my interest is looking beyond the gimmicks and understanding the platform and understanding the future of the platform and why we have to be on it.
On my side, I've been a journalist for the last 7 years. I am looking for the most innovative technology to tell a story. I'm looking for the fastest way to tell a story. I'm looking for the most intimate way. And Snapchat has become one platform that I believe offers a very raw, real, authentic way to tell stories. I fundamentally believe that the future of news is selfie journalism. Millions of people around the world documenting their lives with their phones. And I am really excited by the idea of aggregating all of those stories, and that's what Snapchat has been doing recently.
Okay, and what do you think is the biggest difference between using Snapchat or Twitter or Facebook or other social media platforms? Like, what does Snapchat bring that those don't?
I think the differences have definitely become a lot smaller. We've seen that the stories format, the idea of these vertical 10-second cards that we essentially tap through, have become syndicated. They've become cloned on Instagram, on Facebook. So in many respects, the differences are smaller. I think the difference is actually who's on it. What sort of an audience are on Instagram? How old are the audience on Snapchat? How do they engage? And engagement has become a critical difference. You've seen massive changes in the way people communicate on each of these platforms.
And I think, of course, Instagram has a better distribution platform, 100%. It's made for distribution. Snapchat is not made for distribution. It's made for a core quality audience. So they're not looking to grow their numbers the way that the way that Instagram is. And so it's different in that way, in that it's geared towards engagement. It's purpose built for engagement. And when Instagram and Facebook and WhatsApp have now adopted the stories format, as Yusuf has said, but I think that the difference is that Snapchat still has the most creative camera. They have the best integrations in terms of Bitmojis, Shazam. The AR is really good. But it's also, at the end of the day, it's one platform. And so you have to understand your target audiences. Your audiences are different on each of the platforms. So understand why you're on Snapchat and who's on Snapchat, and the type of content that you need to put out on Snapchat and the type of engagement you're going to get back. So I think those are the core differences.
And I suppose when we're talking about journalism in general, the biggest thing for us as well as students, I suppose, is telling a story, and maybe telling a story that hasn't been told before.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned during your presentation, you were saying that Snapchat is actually a great tool for that, because you can use filters and then people can't be identified, but they can still use it as a platform to tell their stories.
Yeah.
So how does that work? Does it work better than other platforms to tell stories of people who might not want to be identified?
I think that Instagram and WhatsApp and Facebook have adopted the face filters and that kind of thing.
Not yet.
They haven't adopted
Facebook have.
Facebook have. So we do have to think of more unique ways now, but Yusuf did a great story on the climb against sexual abuse, where and his whole thing was, let's look beyond the gimmicks, let's look beyond the funny face filters and the doggy tongue, and let's see like practical uses that we can have for this technology, because at the end of the day, it's just really good technology.
At MOJOCon in 2017, we still have this enormous rift between people that are using mobile phones to produce content for television and people that are orientated towards social video. Snapchat is not made for TV. It is entirely designed for people to digest on mobile phones. And I think the narrative at this conference needs to change that. Are we about creating content on mobiles, or are we starting to think about creating content for mobile devices? And that's what Snapchat allows for. But unfortunately, because of the funny face filters, the drawing, the emojis, and the 10-second bite, people get distracted. They say, oh, how can you tell a story in 10 seconds? It's not 10 seconds. It's only a 10-second shot, which forms part of a linear narrative. And with that, you can do very, very serious journalism. But it's really difficult for people to look beyond those superficial boundaries.
Also, I mean, I think the storytelling remains the same. The platform has changed, and the way we tell, the way that we use emojis and big text and that kind of thing has changed. But essentially, each 10-second snap against each other forms a story. And we have to think about it, and we have to storyboard it. And Eva and Kristen spoke about it yesterday. We have to think about it and storyboard it the same way that we always did, the same way that we
But also throw all of the rules out of the window.
Yeah.
You don't have to be on a tripod.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need a mic because you're within arm's reach away. We are starting to bring bad television habits into mobile journalism. We're starting to say everything needs to be 16:9 this way, not this way. We're starting to say everything needs to be stable and on a tripod. Everything needs to be a head and shoulders interview and the rule of thirds. These are all television rules. They have no space on Snapchat.
And Samantha said it well, I think, on the first day with the Is Journalism Dead? Journalism is not dead. Old habits are dead. And we need to forget about those old habits and think about how to tell stories in this new language, this millennial language. Yeah.
Perfect. Could you really quickly maybe give an example each of a situation or a time that you used Snapchat to tell a serious story?
Okay, so Yusuf and I don't know if you guys remember, but Donald Trump made a comment about last night in Sweden a couple of months ago. So Yusuf and I went over to Sweden, to Stockholm, to a place called Rinkeby, to cover immigration and migration that's happening in that community. And I think that's a good way to use Snapchat to verify what's happening and to understand the hard to reach places and sensitive subjects.
And we shot it with the spectacles.
Yeah.
It was an area that a lot of people said it's kind of dangerous for journalists, don't take a big camera, you'll get robbed. I didn't find any of these things, but we just
we used it as an intimate way of storytelling and a discreet and intimate way.
I mean, if you're the person I was interviewing, I was literally standing like this, and I was like, hey, tell me about yourself. And I knew I was recording with a flashing light, and I could look at them in the eyes. It wasn't like I was like that.
But we talk about intimate, but at the end of the day, also don't forget about the ethics of journalism remains the same. People need to know that. So if I'm interviewing someone one-on-one, my interviewee needs to know that I'm filming them. They need to know, and that's why the little flashing light works. But yeah, you need to stick to your ethics of journalism as well.
On my side, we've covered drug stories in India, being able to snap as we went along. We were crowdsourcing education stories with the reality show Campus Calling. We covered sexual abuse using face filters. I've seen so many applications where it's proven very useful.
Also, I don't think we've talked about enough at this conference about constructive journalism and social media for social good. And I think you've used it in many ways for that. Yeah,
I think journalism in some capacities has moved, especially in the social space, in the social media space, beyond the who, where, what, when, why, how.
Yeah.
Younger audiences want to know on platforms like Snapchat and Instagram. They don't just want to know what's happening, they want to know how they can help.
Yeah, they want to know not just the issues, but the solutions. And how to actively make a difference.
Don't tell us how terrible the world is, but how we can get better. We did a piece called The Ugly Indian, which now has 8 million views on Facebook. It was literally a group of people just cleaning up the streets. And it resonated with people because it was a story of hope. It was a story of India's dirty, but we can make it better, and here's how. We need more of those kinds of stories. Not the world's terrible, but here's how we can fix it.
Brilliant. Perfect. Cheers. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Awesome.
And can I just get your badges so my audience can follow you? Pulling out, we zoom in.
Snap_Sumaiya.
Don't move it.
Oh, still out of focus. Sorry, everybody. There we go. Follow their Snapchats.